The next question is E21.10. The following facts pertain to a non-cancelable lease agreement between Mooney Leasing and Choi Group, a lessee. So these are the data for the lease agreement. The collectibility of the lease payment by Mooney is probable. So the instructions, A. Prepare a lease amortization schedule for Choi for the 5-year lease term. So we must calculate first the present value of the lease liability. Okay. Um, because there is a bargain purchase option, we must put it inside the present value of the lease liability calculation. Yeah, so this is quite similar with the difference between the guaranteed residual value and the expected residual value. So the present value of the lease payment, just use the present value formula, like the way you put the numbers inside. The present value is 88,278. And then the present value of the bargain purchase option, just use the single sum. Okay, so 4,000 divided by 1.08 at the power of 5. You can pay attention to the implicit rate, and the incremental borrowing rate is just the same. So that's why we use 8%. Yeah. And then the present value of the lease liability is 91,000. Yeah. So we can make the amortization schedule now. So we will start with the 1st of May 2022 with the carrying amount of 91,000, and then directly with the lease payment of 20,472, okay, which is rounded from the 20,471.94. So directly the reduction is just the amount of the payment, because it is the beginning of the lease. And then for the rest of the year, you can just do it like the way you do it usually. So the interest expense will be 8% from the carrying amount. Yeah. And then reduction of this liability is from the lease payment minus the interest expense. And then so on until at the end. Okay. This is the bargain purchase option amount. Okay. So when we amortize it, it will become 0 at the end. And then for B, prepare the journal entries on the lessee's books to reflect the signing of the lease agreement and to record the payments and expenses related to this lease for the years 2022 and 2023. Choi's annual accounting period ends on December 31st, and reversing entries are used by Choi. So we will start with 2022 at the beginning of the lease. Of course, we will record the commencement of the lease, which is the debit right of use asset credit lease liability of 91,000 directly with the lease liability payment. So debit lease liability credit cash 20,471.94. So this is rounded. And then remember, as lessee, we must record the depreciation expense, which is 91,000 divided by 10. Okay, and then remember it is the times 8 over 12, because it is from May until December, so 8 months, they are not a year. That's why the depreciation expense is 6,067. Why we use the useful life as 10? Okay, because there is a bargain purchase option, means that at the end of the lease, the lease asset will stay at the lessee's company. So it is as if that the lessee has purchased the lease asset, and then the lessee will use the economic life of the asset instead of the lease term. Okay, so that's why this is divided by 10. And then for the interest expense, because at the end of the year, we must accrue the next year interest expense. So 5,642, remember to times 8 over 12 also, because from May to December. So you will debit interest expense, credit lease liability, 3,761, which is 8 over 12 times 5,642. And then for the 2023, we must use reversing entries first because we will have the payment of the lease rental at the uh, at at the 1st of May. Okay. What is the usage of the reversing entries? With reversing entries, your interest expense can be recorded at full amount, okay, which means that the interest expense that will happen in the 2023 from January to April, it is only 5,642 minus the 3,761. Okay, so this is just to make you easier when you want to record the lease payment. If you don't use the reversing entries, you will have to recalculate the interest expense happen from January to April. Yeah, so by using reversing entries, you can just record the full amount without recalculate again from January to April. It will automatically offset with the reversing entries. Okay, so at the payment, okay, you will debit lease liability. Just look at this row. Okay, debit lease liability 14,830, and then debit interest expense 5,642, and then credit cash 20,472. And then just record the depreciation expense at the full amount because it is 1 year already, yeah, from January to December. And then the interest expense still the same, it is still 8 over 12 from the next year interest expense. So debit interest expense, credit lease liability 2,970.